and I tell them, don't ask why, don't think ahead, you're going to do exactly what I tell you to do. When you have this on your paper, about the racetrack or your hunting cabin or Chili's or Ghost Riders or wherever you went, you got this on your paper. Now I want you to number every one. Doesn't matter what number you put with which one. All right, I got to 9 this time. First grammar unit, we talk about simple sentences, independent clauses. A subject and a verb that's conjugated to go with that subject. That makes an independent clause, can stand alone as a sentence. Your book calls it a main clause. That's how you avoid a fragment. Okay. So, now you're going to write each one of these into a simple sentence or a main clause. Number 1, farm show. Farm show is cool. Number 2, food. I like the food. Number 3, the food tastes good. Short, simple, subject, verb. Action verbs are great. But we also have that list of, I have a list of helping and verbs, helping and linking verbs. So they end up with this list of simple sentences. You can get in groups and check them to make sure they're simple sentences. Do you have any fragments? Mark FRAG beside it. And fix them. Work in groups. You can do any of those techniques. I want to put number 4 up there too. The food is fattening. When they have a list, sometimes we'll build on this next class, I want more. I want them to have at least 20 to 25 simple sentences, main clauses that they have written. On the day that, and they've already done an exercise on subjects, verbs, and fragments. The day that we want to combine sentences, those patterns of sentence combining, pick 2 of your main clauses that are related. We're going to use these 2 to join them in all the patterns that they show in chapter 36. They have that page of ways to combine sentences. Come back to this over and over and over again. Your sentences, let's write them into a series, put commas in it. Let's change them all to third person plural and check the verb. Let's put a pronoun in each sentence and make sure it agrees. But they are building their knowledge. They're putting these tools on their material with their hands with the guidance of a master craftsperson. That's how you learn to make stuff. And that's how you become invested. So that exercise is one that I would just do over and over and over again. Every time I had time to do it. Always a go-to for me. And it says, you can do it as many times as they have topics. What'd you do today? You got in a wreck in the parking lot. Okay. Give me a thought one with 25 details about it. Okay, you got it. And it can grow all the way up to research. You researched this, you get complex ideas turned into complex sentences, and then you use more complex tools. So it can grow with their skills. Questions?
Would you clarify again the edition of the Little Brown Handbook? What
MLA guidelines between 6 and 7.
Okay, the change.
So the old MLA guidelines are in 6 and before. So if you're dealing with anything with MLA guidelines, you need to make sure that you're in the 7th or 8th edition.
What has the 8th done that isn't in the 7th, other than tweak the pages?
The main thing is that it added e-book material.
Oh, okay.
So if you have an ebook or a student has the ebook, there are links, and they're marked in the paper version of exercises, sample papers. Students have an ebook, or if you go to the My Comp Lab, there's an ebook embedded in it. And you can find anywhere that there's a notation for ebook material. You get that additional material. The content, there's almost no change. It was electronic changes between 7 and 8.
Joy, what about My Comp Lab? How extensively do you use My Comp Lab? What role does that play in your class?
I use it very, very little because it's a little bit complicated for them.
Right.
I find the companion website sufficient. It's free. They don't have to enter a code. They don't get lost in the where am I supposed to go, what part are we using, what part aren't we using. My Comp Lab is a whole additional site that has exercises, a live tutoring lab where they can chat with someone to help them. It does have diagnostic exercises, diagnostic exams, which are very helpful, but it can be a little funky to navigate. So I use the companion website much more for these students.
And do you actually use the Purdue Online Writing Lab
I
in
use
your
it.
class, and do you direct your students there?
I direct it to them, I link them to it on Blackboard for additional resource. It's very user-friendly, very, very user-friendly. They want additional work on this, they need to, the ones that are more computer-driven, they want to click on it, they don't want to look for it. The new Online Writing Lab and the companion website are very, very helpful. The Little Brown Handbook companion website, tool letter D, it's the same page numbers, the same chapter numbers. You pull down the chapter menu, you get to that chapter, it has video tutorials, exercises for the material in the same order, the same language that it's already. Purdue Online Writing Lab is for supplement. Like, okay, I did everything for the fragments. I need more. I need something else. I need a little different angle. I'm not getting this language. Purdue Online Writing Lab is still college level, but it's a little bit more user-friendly.
As tutors, we don't need anything specific to get into this.
The Purdue Online Writing Lab and the companion website, you need nothing. They're just free. Just go to the website. My Comp Lab, the students need a code. And the developmental exercises, I believe, will be here, along with there's some previous editions, which they're actually almost the same. They're the same worksheets with a few new ones. Chapter numbers may change a little bit, but I use a lot of these in my classes too. And I never have an issue with duplication. Like, don't worry that you're going to use the same worksheet that we're doing in class, because they didn't get it the first time, I promise you. And if they're coming to you saying, I didn't get this, when you go over it again with them, they may get another piece of it that they didn't get the first time. And the grading is all within their writing or a quiz. So the worksheets are just exercises to get them to that. The more times they do them, the better they're going to be. Most of the questions that I wanted to get to quickly, and I know we're about out of time, I hope I've covered some of them. Copy of assignments, resources, tools. The first three under questions for Joy Walsh, the first three on the bottom half of the page. How much idea directing should the tutor do? Thesis statement direction, how do you know what topics? If you can get a copy of the assignment or word of what the real assignment is from the instructor, that's the best test of the topics. What topics are going to fit, what's allowed, what's not allowed. In terms of directing a thesis statement, we do a lot of that in class collaboratively anyway. What's your narrow topic? What's your opinion about that? And I often, as a tutor, I did a lot of that direction in conversation. I talk, you talk, I record your words. And if a student is talking to you, I will often say in a conference, well, if someone was brand new, someone's never been to the farm show, why should they go? And they'll start talking and they'll say these great things. I will just serve as their scribe and write down the key words. I don't put them in sentences, I don't punctuate them. I don't give them sentences, and they'll ask you to, well, what did you say? Then, no, you said it. But they're looking for their narrow topic and their opinion about that topic. I think that, I feel that, I believe that. They can finish that sentence and cross off that beginning phrase, and they have a thesis statement. They have their thesis statement. They just don't know it. That's anything else that anyone wants me to cover? I know I'm over time and I don't want to hold you over. Thank you very much. And please email me, call me, stop over. Yeah.
On the upper half of that
Yes.
question sheet, the second paragraph, I think that's where I know I find the most
So
conflict
hard.
for what my role is, because they really want us to look at their paragraphs, do the correcting. What do we do? What do we say?
You can always throw it back on us.
But not
You can
all
always say-
instructors are.
You can always say, we're not allowed to do that. And that's an easy out. We do tell them, I am very adamant about it, and it's actually harder to convince parents than tutors. Nobody should change your work. Those are the words I use in class. No one should change your work. No one fixes the punctuation but you. No one changes the spelling but you. No one changes the words other than you. And if that little bit of support often when I'm working with them, the little bit of support of, I will identify your error. I will tell you that you have a comma splice in this line. Can you find that comma splice? Instead of fixing the errors, use every error that you identify as an exercise question back to them. You have a spelling error. You have 3 spelling errors in this line. Let's find them. Use the titles, and you have to pick and choose. The diction, the awkward passages, those are the really challenging ones. How do I fix the diction? Oh. Sometimes you just have to choose your battles and say they're going to get to that once we get their sentences clean. Let's focus on the subject and the verb. Where's your verb? Is it strong? Is it clear? Is it in the right form? Once they see that, oh wait, I need to, and the diction cleans up. But identify the error and tell them you'll help them. Even if it feels like it's going more slowly, that's part of that realistic expectation. A clean, finished product is not the goal. A clean A paper, I know it is the goal. It's everybody's all our goal. So, but that's not realistic. Mastery of the skills, one step at a time, is the goal. And we will work on group 1 errors first. We're going to work on organization first. I have working outline forms that I use that they have to outline every paragraph and essay before they write. And I will send them to Lexi, and if you want to have them to use them, I'll be glad to share those. They're just very basic, plan out your paper, and I don't let them put any complete sentences on it other than their thesis. So they have to learn to work from a plan. But I'll send those to Lexi, and you can have those. But just hold the line, and sometimes it's painful all the way around when you see the work and you see the progress, and I know that there's a lot of work going on here, and the student's working hard, and they're coming and working with me, and I still have to write that DRF on the paper. because that grade reflects the skill execution. It's a grade on that paper, it's not a grade on the student. And that's that support underneath while we do the other work.
So we may be concentrating on a subject-verb agreement, and the rest of the paper can be in
Yes.
complete error. But if
You
we're
can't fix
focusing
all of
on,
the errors
Okay.
in one paper before that paper's due.
which is what we tend to do.
If they could all be fixed into a clean, perfect little paper in 1 hour, they wouldn't be in this class. They could clean it up themselves and be an English 1. So it's so hard. I fell into this and I knew better. I used to write to students, consider working with a tutor. I'm like, well, I did. And then that's just a bad situation, a bad conversation all the way around. You know, make sure you work with your tutor. Well, I did. But from a tutor's perspective, errors in a final paper do not say the tutor didn't do his or her job. Never, ever. For this population. A perfectly clean, beautiful little paper usually sets off a flag that somebody other than the student did too much of this job. Because we get to know these students' writing and their strengths and their weaknesses and where they're going to come and what their voice sounds like. And we want to empower that voice. And that takes time.
Oh. But you're not saying that if they bring you the sentence and you have marked at the end of the sentence, there's this issue, this issue, we should not guide them if they cannot figure out what it
Absolutely.
is.
I will tell them. When they come to my office and we'll go through there, they'll say, I went through this paper and I found all these, but I don't know what AGR means.
Exactly.
I just don't even know what it means. And I'll say, it means agreement. Here's the quiz, do you know what you should focus on? No. Well, we have to find the verb, right? We have to find a pronoun. Can we find that? And sometimes they can't even find that. Okay, I'm going to underline your verb and I'm going to underline your subject. Now you tell me if those agree.
Yeah.
Incrementally, yeah, absolutely. A lot of guidance. But I want them to be empowered. They feel like they found it. A lot of guidance from the master craftsman, right? Sometimes a master craftsman actually puts their hand on the hand of the apprentice to show them how it works. All right, thank you very much. Have a great semester and contact me.
Joy, thank you so much. We have a lot to think about, a lot to do, and it's really time to get started very soon. So we heard a lot of good things today, and I think something that I heard is that this conversation is going to continue.
Absolutely.
Our work together will continue, and we will be exchanging and sharing.
Students need us all to work together. They need all of their supports in place.
Thank you so much.
Sure, thank you.